Hi, this is Mark at learnhowtogarden.com, and in today's episode of the 10-Minute Gardener we're going to plant out the salad, the lettuce that we sowed about 4 weeks ago. And we sowed a variety of lettuce into these little Jiffy 7s, and the reason we use Jiffy 7s was because it means that we can be very specific about where we plant out our lettuce. We don't have to thin them out. Also, they're slightly more robust when they go in, and I've found over the years that slugs tend to pick on the very young, very succulent leaves. You know, therefore you're better if you can just start them off, get them to about this size, and we can plant them out. And one of the things I was taught and have always used is the importance of spacing with lettuce. What you need is far enough apart that you get medium to large lettuce. You'll get crisper leaves, there'll be much more taste in them, and also they are much more resilient. And the trick with lettuce is to harvest them regularly. Rather than just cutting a whole lettuce off at once, we're going to show you during this series about just literally harvesting about once or twice a week. We'll take the edges off the outside leaves. I was always taught that an 8-inch spacing is a really good spacing for lettuce. That gives you good medium-sized lettuce. And what I've done here, this is calcified seaweed, which I would put onto my lettuce bed anyway. And I've set out a grid, a bit like a chessboard really, so you can actually see what I'm talking about. It's much easier. And what we're going to do, we're going to plant on each intersection of the grid and also in the centre. And that will give us roughly a 20 centimetre span, 20 centimetres between the corner and the middle, 20 centimetres between the corner and the middle. It's really useful to have a rough guide with you for distance. And what I've found, and again it's a trick I was taught, measure the distance across your own palm between the tip of your thumb and the tip of your finger. It's always going to be with you, isn't it? You know, therefore you're not looking for a trowel or a measuring stick. That gives you the rough distance. So it's very simple. This bed is one of our beds that over the years has had lots and lots of manure and compost added to it. Lettuce is quite a hungry crop. It likes really good soil, and the better your soil, the better your crops will be. Basically, if it's good soil, you can plant just using your fingers. So you make a small indentation, pop in the Jiffy 7 and gently firm. Take your next lettuce, indentation, gently firm. Your next lettuce, we'll work backwards here, indentation, gently firm. Repeat the process till you have all 4 corners, and then quite simply, like a bullseye, you pop one into the middle, and it's giving you that 20 centimetres, about 8-inch separation. And that's what's going to be very important when it comes to maximising the crop, but also maximising the taste and getting very healthy lettuce. So I'll just continue and plant this out. This is the actual Seeds of Italy mixed salad, so this is a bit like a lucky dip. It's a surprise. What we have here are 4 lettuce varieties, which we talked about in our first lettuce video. When we talk about salads, it's not just lettuce. This is lettuce at the moment, but we'll also have rocket in here, we'll have sorrel in here, we'll have beetroot, but the beetroot will be grown for the leaves. That'll be in here. We grow lots and lots of flat leaf parsley, and we also grow a lot of thyme and marjoram, which we actually grow in our salad beds. This is a little potager. This is literally outside my kitchen door. If you can make a small space very close to your kitchen, what I'd say is grow those vegetables that really benefit from being cropped and used very quickly. So lettuce and herbs are the thing that, you know, is brilliant to have really close to your kitchen. These lettuce, when we eat them, it'll be less than 5 minutes between them being picked from here and being on the table, and that makes all the difference for crisp, succulent, beautiful tasting lettuce. So I'll just get on and plant this, and then we'll show you what it looks like once it's planted up. So in the space of 7 to 10 minutes, we've planted our salad bed. We've got quite a lot of salad in here, but on the packet it'll say plant the salad, you know, or sow lettuce every 7 to 10 days. And that's because you're going to crop the whole one. We're not doing that. What we're doing is we're probably going to plant out lettuce twice in the summer, perhaps twice in the autumn, and twice in the spring. And then we're going to grow them and crop them differently. We're going to grow them so that they have longer in the ground, the leaves become slightly more mature, which gives us more taste, more texture, certainly more succulence within those sort of leaves. And we're actually going to just take the leaves from the outside of each plant, and as these grow they will fill up the space. In a very short space of time this will just look like the most wonderfully productive salad bed. Into each of the Jiffy 7s we did have 2 or 3 seeds, so we actually are left with quite a lot of these little thinnings. Don't throw them away, they make great micro greens, you know, they're great on a sandwich, you know, use them, they're really fresh and tender. All that remains to do now are 2 things. One, water them in. I would advise you, if you can, treat yourself to a really good watering can. The best I've found are made by a company called Haws, H-A-W-S, and it's because of this little bit on the end. The rose on this can is much, much finer. As you can see, it's like fine spring rain. What you don't want with any watering can is a deluge. These have just gone in the bed and you want to give them time to settle. And the other thing we're going to do, literally between the salads, just for about 10 centimetres, we're going to put tiny amounts of radish. Those radish will go very quickly. We can crop them. It's called intercropping. It's not going to be a whole sort of row, just small amounts of radish, and that will give us really succulent radish. One of them will give us this radish in 18 days. And that's sort of as easy as as easy as you can get for planting lettuce. Another option would be to actually put them in a big container, and we'll do a quick video blog to show you how to grow salads in a container, either on your balcony or on the patio. So we'll just pop the radish in, we'll come back and look at this in about 14 to 21 days, and you can see how these are progressing, by which time we may be able to take some pickings. So to summarise, we want a grid system, we want our salads about 20 centimetres or 8 inches apart. We grow them on in modules so that they're strong enough when they go into the ground. We interplant with some radish, so we're getting 2 crops out of the actual same patch. If you want any more information on either how to grow the radish or sowing salad, please look at the other blogs either on learnhowtogarden.com, or you can look at the 10-Minute Gardener on YouTube. And we'll be back with you very soon, and I hope you enjoy gardening till we see you then.